All right, thanks, guys. The Clippers take on the Knicks. That's going to be a 12 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Madison Square Garden. Actually, a 9 o'clock game for the Clippers coming in from the West Coast. But anyway, the Clippers opened the betting as the 9.5-point favorite, total at 221.5. And since those markets opened this one up, nobody really scared of that time difference. Clippers are taking a little bit of money in the early going here. We're also seeing movement upward on the total as well. The Clippers are now minus 10, total 222. So once again, Los Angeles opened the betting as the 9.5-point favorite. They're now minus 10. Total open 221.5 up to 222. 69% of the consensus is leaning toward the Clippers. 53% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Knicks are plus 440 on the money line. Now, if you like the Knicks in this matchup here, you may want to listen up to this injury report because we have Vonleh, who's listed as out for today's action, and Smith and Trier are still out indefinitely with those injuries. Regardless of those figures, though, the Knicks have been good against the number in several different categories. And as a matter of fact, New York is 11-7 against the spread in their games that were played at the current number. So 11-7 against the spread in their games that tipped off at the current number. Now the Clippers on the other side, completely opposite direction. They're 40% against the spread in their games at the current number themselves. They've also failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5, and they rank 23rd in points allowed in the NBA. Now total-wise, the Clippers are 4-2 to the over in their last 6. So as banged up as they are, the Clippers are playing a 9 a.m. game here, and I think the Knicks can keep it close. I think they can keep it within double digits. I know a lot of people think I'm crazy whenever I take the Knicks when it comes to the point spread, but I haven't been getting burned too bad when it comes to the Knicks and the number. So give me New York plus 10 and the over 222 in that matchup there. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Sunday's NBA action. Hopefully you're having a great weekend. I got a little afternoon golf planned for myself today. Gotta move my mother. She's moving, and she's moving to Florida. Lucky duck, which is interesting because I was just down in Florida last week. But then after we move her, me and Paul Hilliard and my cousin and nephew, we're gonna go play a round of golf, and I'm gonna stream the March Madness in the golf cart while we're playing. It's going to be a lot of prop betting, man. I'll tell you what, a lot of prop bets. If you don't play golf, you may want to pick it up because the prop betting on your own game, especially when you're playing with other gamblers, is just, it's a blast. It's so much fun. But anyway, just want to remind you to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. That is my website. We give out picks. I'm doing pretty bad on that website right now, so you may want to hold off a day or two before subscribing. I'll let you know once we get hot again and when you should strike and sign up. But anyway, plenty of free content there as well. We give daily picks on there. A lot of fun on that site. Patreon.com/BrockPage. Link for that website is in the description section below. All right, let's go ahead and get into some more lines and personal leans. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Cavaliers, Bucks. 4:30 Eastern tip-off in Milwaukee. The Bucks open 14.5, total 222 and a hook. We're seeing movement upward on both the spread and the total. Minus 15, 223. Once again, Milwaukee open 14.5 up to minus 15. Total open 225.5 up to 223. Right now, Cleveland is plus 1,100 on the money line. Now for the Cavs, Henson is still out indefinitely. Dellavedova is doubtful for today's action. Meanwhile, on the Milwaukee side, Giannis Antetokounmpo is questionable with an ankle. Mirotic and Brogdon still out indefinitely for the Bucks as well. Now the Bucks have failed to cover in 2 out of their last 4. They are also shooting just they're ranked just 17th in shooting the 3-ball in the NBA. Meanwhile, the Cavs on the other side have successfully covered the number in 6 out of their last 7. They also rank 9th in road 3-point shooting and 10th in defensive rebounding. Now, total-wise, Cleveland is 4-2 to the under in their last 6. Milwaukee 4-1 to the under in their last 5. Give me Cleveland plus 15 and the under 223 in that matchup there. 2 underdogs in a row for me. Let's see if we can make it 3. Next game, Nuggets, Pacers, 5 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Indiana. The Nuggets open -1, total 212. We're seeing movement upward on the spread and downward on the total. -1.5 and 210. Once again, Denver open 1, up to -1.5. Total open 212, down to 210 even. 67% are leaning Nuggets, 63% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Pacers are +105 on the money line. Darren Collinson is questionable for Indiana, but regardless of that thing there, they are 8-3 ATS in their last 11 at home. They also rank first in points allowed on their home court. Now, on the Denver side, they're 25th from the stripe on the road. They're also covering just 38% of their games as the official road favorite. Now, total-wise, Denver is 4-1 to the over in their last 5 in Indiana, if you're into historical trends. Give me the Pacers +2 and the over 210 in that matchup there, making it 3 dogs in a row for me. Next game, Charlotte, Toronto, 6 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Toronto. The Raptors open -11, total 218. We're seeing a slight fade of Toronto on the spread. We're seeing movement downward on the total, -10.5 and 217.5. So once again, Toronto open -11 down to -10.5. Total open 218 down to 217 and a hook. Charlotte is +440 on the money line. Now, Batum, Kid Gilchrist, and Zeller are all questionable for Charlotte. Meanwhile, for Toronto, Lowry is ruled out for today's action. Now, Toronto is just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 at home. They rank 22nd in home offensive rebounding and 20th in home defensive rebounding. Meanwhile, Charlotte on the other side is 7th from the stripe. And when it comes to the total, they are 5-1 to the over in their last 6, taking on Toronto. Toronto 6-2 to the over in their last 8. Give me the Charlotte Hornets +11 after buying the half a point, and the over 217.5 in that matchup there, making it 4 for 4 for underdogs for me. Wow. What is going on? Next game, Rockets, Pels, 7 o'clock tip-off in New Orleans. The Rockets open -10, total 227. And since that one opened up, we're seeing a slight fade of Houston when it comes to the spread. That moved down to 9.5. We're also seeing movement downward on the total to 226 and a hook. So once again, Houston opened 10, down to -9.5. Total open 227, down to 226 and a hook. New Orleans is +400 on the money line. Now, for the Pels, Anthony Davis is probable. I mean, really, if you think about it, AD is probable any day. You never know when he's going to play, when he's going to sit. Very unpredictable when it comes to capping these Pels games. But once again, Anthony Davis listed as probable / questionable. Who knows if he's going to play? Officially, he is probable for tonight's action. Now, New Orleans has failed to cover in 7 out of their last 8. They're also 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 at home. They've lost 7 out of their last 8 straight up as well. They rank 29th in home points allowed, which is second to last in that category there. Now, total-wise, Houston's 5-1 to the under in their last 6. Give me the Rockets -9 after buying the hook, and the under 226.5 in that matchup there. And that'll give us one chalky favorite for the show finally. Next game, San Antonio, Boston, 7:30 tip-off, Beantown. Boston open 2.5, total 220 to hook. We're seeing a slight fade of Boston on the spread and movement downward on the total. -2 and 220. So once again, the Celtics open 2.5 down to -2. Total open 220.5 down to 220 even. 86% are leaning towards San Antonio. And at the moment, the Spurs are +105 on the money line. Now we have Al Horford, Gordon Hayward. Let's try that again. Al Horford and Gordon Hayward are questionable today. Aaron Baines is also questionable as well for the Celtics. Regardless of that stat, though, San Antonio has been horrible on the road this year. And as a matter of fact, they've won just 13 out of 36 games straight up away from home. They've also failed to cover in 8 out of their last 11 when traveling. They rank 21st in offensive rebounding and 26th in road defensive field goal percentage. Now, total-wise, San Antonio is 10-4 to the over in their last 10-4 to the over in their last 14 away from home. Meanwhile, Boston is 6-1 to the over in their last 7. Give me Boston -2, getting the job done at home, and the over 220 in that matchup there. Next game, Pistons, Warriors, 8:30 tip-off in the Bay Area. Golden State open 12.5, total 216. We're seeing a slight fade of Golden State on the spread and movement upward on the total. Minus 12 and 216.5. So once again, Golden State open 12.5 down to minus 12. Total open 216 up to 216 and a hook. At the moment, the Pistons are plus 550 on the money line. Now, if you like Detroit in this matchup here, they are 9-3 against the number in their last dozen. They also rank 4th in the NBA in defensive rebounding. Golden State, on the other side, is just 17th in home offensive rebounding, and they've covered just 6 out of their last 19 games. Now, total-wise, Golden State's 4-2 to the over in their last 6 at home, taking on Detroit. Meanwhile, the Pistons are 13-6 to the over in their last 19. Give me the Pistons plus 12. And the over 216.5 in that matchup there. Next and final game for our NBA slate. It is going to be Kings, Lakers, 9:30 tip-off at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. The Kings open minus 3, total 229. We're seeing money toward the Kings and money toward the under right now. 3.5 and 228 and a hook. So once again, Sacramento open minus 3 up to minus 3.5. Total open 229 down to 228.5. Right now, the Lakers are plus 130 at home. The Lakers are just 3-14 straight up in their last 17 ball games. 0-5 against the number in their last 5. They're also 0-5 straight up in their last 5 on their home court. And they rank second to last in home offensive rebounding. Now, total-wise, the Lakers are 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Sacramento 7-3 to the under in that same category. Give me the Kings minus 3 after buying the half a point, and the under 228.5 in that matchup there. All right, let's go ahead and slide into some March Madness, and I'll tell you what, it is a miracle to go 8-8 in the leans yesterday. I'll tell you, March Madness this year has been absolutely a challenge to cap, and that's why I kind of said, if you're interested in subscribing to Patreon, I know, it's my page and I'm trying to, sell you on investing in me, but man, it's been a bad time to invest in me right now because March Madness has been killer on the Patreon page. But like I said, definitely a miracle to go 50% yesterday in March Madness. That was like a small victory for me in my psyche. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at Iowa, Tennessee. That's going to be a 12:10 Eastern tip-off in the Nationwide Arena. Tennessee opened 8.5, total 157. And since those markets opened that one up, we're actually seeing a slight fade of Tennessee when it comes to the spread. They're down to -8. We're also seeing movement downward on the total as well. That total movement